Today I'm going to be regripping my 2008 Burner Plus irons, as well as my wedges, woods, driver, and putter. I bought this kit on Amazon. It comes with 13 grips, the regripping solvent, grip tape, grip knife, and the club lock for a vise. You don't need the tape. I also have needle nose, pliers, box cutter, and a heat gun. And of course a vise. So let's get started. I decided to start with the wood. And although my irons are stainless steel, my woods are from a different set, so they are graphite shafts. Now you just want to be careful with graphite shafts because you can split or splinter them if you're a little too aggressive with the knife. So just go easy on it. Also helps if you don't have the vise attached to a card table. If it's attached to something a little bit more secure, that would be for the better. I was super nervous about messing this up, so I'm being very careful on these first couple. I also didn't know if I needed to use the heat gun. I've seen some tutorials with the heat gun, without the heat gun, with the box cutter only. You basically just want to get the grip off. You want to get the old tape off, and you want to get any sort of residue that can interfere with the application of the new tape. But yeah, you definitely don't have to be as slow and as careful as I'm being with this first one. Just yank it off. I believe this first one I don't use the heat gun at all. I'm just seeing how fast I can do it without the heat gun, see how easy it is.
Any ideas?
This particular club had pretty thick grip tape already on it, which you'll see for the next one that when the grip tape is thick like that, using a heat gun is probably the better way to go, because it'll just peel right off in one piece. Whereas if you have some thinner applications of grip tape, it's just going to kind of not peel evenly. It's just going to come off in pieces. This first one I'm also going start to finish, taking the grip off, taking the tape off, applying the new tape, the solvent, and the new grip. But as you'll see soon, I realize that's not the best strategy. What you're going to want to do is take all the grips off, take all the tape off. You'll do everything in stages so as you're not having to switch gears for every club. And also, I'm not wearing them quite yet, but with solvents, even stuff like this, you'll want to wear some gloves. I was also paranoid because I'd heard use plenty of solvent, use more than you need, blah blah blah. I'm like panicking, like it's gonna dry, I'm not gonna be able to get it on. Yeah, you want to pull it up all the way. You just don't want to stop halfway. So like once you start going, just pull the grip entirely on. Can't see. So there's one down. I think that probably took me like 20 minutes. Just way too slow. I've never even seen any really good tutorials for regripping. I mean, I watched a couple, but they jumped around, they had bad camera angles, so that's why I'm doing this video, because like, hey, at least you get to see someone do the club start to finish. I wouldn't use the heat gun like I am right now to pull the grip off, because it's just not necessary. You really just want to use the heat gun for the tape, and only when it's thick like this. You can't even see the shaft through the tape because they put so much on. If it's just a thin little transparent piece, just use a knife. Yeah, you see how easy that peels off? So that's going to save you some time if you use a heat gun and the tape happens to be thick. Otherwise, just use a box cutter. Just try not to get any bubbles in the tape. Like, you don't have to be too precious, but you don't want to feel any bumps or anything like that. My clubs don't have any alignments, and also the grips don't as well. So I wasn't trying to be too careful about aligning them, but if your grips and your clubs do, then you want to make sure that those are lined up when you put the grips on, because you won't be able to really twist and make adjustments for very long after you get the grip on. You really have maybe 30 seconds, if that. All right, last wood. See that? Don't need a heat gun. Just rip the grip off. I recommend getting a heat gun for this, even if it's not like totally necessary, just because I've used my heat gun for so many other things. So If you don't have one, it's a great excuse to just pick one up. Plus, they're pretty cheap. I think this is where I decided, yep. So I decided to just take all the grips and tape off before doing any more applications of the new grips. I'm like, I'm just gonna get them off. It's so much faster. I gave up on the heat gun right away because I was like, this grip isn't thick enough. It's not gonna peel. Let me just use the box cutter. And the box cutter works great. It works okay on the graphite shafts, but it works really good on the stainless steel. So if you have stainless steel shafts, it's gonna be a breeze. Just maybe have a couple extra blades because they're gonna get gummed up. Also, if you use the heat gun, the shaft gets kind of hot, so that's why the needle nose pliers are kind of handy. Once you get into a rhythm, it goes pretty quick. If I wasn't filming, it would have gone a lot quicker, but I had to stop, change batteries, cameras got overheated and whatever. But all in all, it probably took 2 to 3 hours. And if I were to do it all over again, it would probably only take me about an hour. So plan accordingly. I also mentioned that you don't have to use a vise. I had seen tutorials where they kind of wedge the club into a corner of their house, but that just seems really fucking awkward, and I did not want to try it. I almost wanted to do one just to show you, but I was like, nah, I'm not gonna set up all these cameras for one club to show you a bad way to regrip your club. No thanks. I think the vise was like $35 on Amazon. It didn't come with bolts though. That blew my mind. I thought for sure it would come with bolts. So I had to go to Home Depot and get bolts and whatever. Wood. I had to get those 2x4 pieces. Actually, no, I think I had those laying around, but I had to get bolts and nuts. I mean, this is sped up, but as you can see, I'm like being way less precious, and I'm getting these grips off much faster than the first few. I was being pretty picky about getting like most of the residue off. I saw a few videos where they were not too worried about it, but I was like, I'm doing it. I might as well do it right. If I wasn't happy with the result, I didn't want it to be because I half-assed it. I also recommend, having a trash can instead of just throwing all the shit on the floor like I did. But to each their own. I suppose I could talk about why I made this channel. This was actually going to be my first video, but then I was like, I can't have a channel called Watch Me Play Golf and then have the first video be me regripping golf clubs. But I guess I could use this chance as sort of an intro. For the other Let's Play Golf channels, they're usually like sitting at a desk and like, I have wanted to do this forever, blah, blah, blah. I like golf. I've been golfing off and on since about 2012. Not very often. I averaged about one round of golf per year. So I've golfed maybe 16 times so far. That's not a lot. Some people golf 16 times a quarter. So I say all that to tell you that I'm not a very good golfer. I'm a beginner, but I really enjoy playing. I have a lot of fun, and I'm not terrible. I maintain pace of play. I don't have any huge blow-up holes too often. I mean, I will occasionally, but if I'm getting a couple pars around, then I must be doing something right. So I'm just taking this opportunity to play a little bit more golf, learn a little bit more video editing skills, and yeah, just have fun with it. There's tons of golfers out there, much better than me, have a whole team to film and edit their videos. This isn't going to be that. This is not going to be high production. This is just going to be average golfer, having fun. I hope you have fun watching, maybe seeing some courses that you haven't seen other YouTubers go to. I'm going to be hitting quite a few golf courses in Maryland, probably Virginia, DC, Pennsylvania, possibly North Carolina. It just depends. If this channel takes off, then I'll be happy to travel around the country or the world to film. But for now, there's plenty of courses in Maryland. So as you can see, I'm smartly wearing some gloves now. You just don't want that shit to absorb into your skin. definitely goes much quicker when you have all the grips removed and the tape removed, and you can just apply new tape and grip and go. There was nothing tricky about putting on the new tape. It's super straightforward. It's really hard to mess it up. And you also don't have to use a ton of the solvent. I know other tutorials will say you have to use a ton, and they're even like pouring off excess. No, it's fine. Although I did mess up this driver, and you'll see that later. I think it's just because the shaft was so freaking wide that it retracted overnight about a half an inch, but that didn't happen with my other clubs. So I was rewatching this and I was like, no, I put it on right, but yeah, whatever. The irons were much easier. I probably also pulled the grip too far forward, causing it to retract. But I don't know. These irons were a breeze. And as far as the grips go, I mean, I paid around $35 for the whole kit. So that's grip, solvent, knife, tape, and the vice lock. Now you can spend way more on grips. I've seen grips that were about $15 each. I definitely didn't need that. I just needed basic grips. I think I got medium or maybe large because, you know, I'm not like a giant, but I don't have baby hands either. So a little bit bigger grips than the factory ones. And I've since played with them and I like them a lot. But then again, they're nothing special. If you remove the other products, the grips probably only cost about $1 each, maybe $1.50. Getting the grip on the club initially is sometimes the biggest pain in the ass. As you can see, I'm like frustrated here. I don't know. Sometimes it goes on easy and sometimes it doesn't. definitely use pliers because trying to peel the tape up with gloves that are wet is not the most fun. Overall, I kind of enjoyed the process. I mean, it's always fun to improve stuff, especially when you're saving money. I could have had a pro do this for me, and they charge like $5 a club or something like that. So I could have had it done for me, but I mean, it's always useful to learn a new skill. Worst case scenario is I couldn't do it and I have to hire them anyway. It's not a big deal. But this way I save some money and feel good about doing it. Plus, I do think I did a pretty good job for my first attempt, minus a couple hiccups, which you will see soon. I'm gonna be confused why I have a leftover grip here in a second. Trying to decide if I should do the putter, but the putter has a bigger grip that is aligned and I like it, so I didn't do it in this moment. And I'm like, I have an extra driver that I never hit with. Let me just regrip that. Instead of the, sand wedge leaning against the wall, that I've already taken the grip off and just didn't notice. So, future me is going to be upset for making that mistake. And you'll see towards the end of the video that happened in real time. So this is like a week later, and I took all my clubs to the range. I love the new grips, they're great. However, I did encounter a couple problems, mainly this. See that? Didn't quite go to the tape. There's about an inch of wiggle room here. So I'm gonna use the heat gun and try to fix that. I also decided to regrip my putter, and yeah, whoops. I was wondering why I had a grip left over, so I decided to regrip my driver that I never use. So now I have my sand wedge will get its own special grip that's not going to match any of the others. I'm obviously pretty pissed about that, but it is what it is. Basically going to heat it up and see if I can slide it down another inch or so. Yeah, so this part was a whole bunch of fun. I thought I'll just heat up the shaft and I'll be able to slide the grip up no problem. It took way longer than I thought. Plus, I have the grip attached to the vise at the very end, which gave me no leverage. It was super long and wonky, and I couldn't freaking push or pull on the grip like I wanted to.
Oh shit, that's not.
It took me forever to realize that I should have had the shaft mounted a little bit lower on the, a little bit lower on the
Okay.
shaft.
What is this?
But what I didn't want to do is have to replace the grip. So I didn't want to cut it, pull it off, and put a new one on. I was determined to get this on.
I mean, it's an improvement.
What I would do is just heat it up way more than you think you need to, because it has to melt the glue from the glue tape a little bit. It'll dry again, so it's fine, but what a pain in the ass.
I don't want to like snap the shaft. I think that's good, or as good as it's gonna get. Yeah. Sweet. I don't want it to contract too much when it cools, so hopefully this will help prevent that. Okay, awesome. Don't think I have to buy another grip for this, so that's cool. One down. All right, now for this guy. How much time do we have? Okay. I could just fucking... I could just, because I really don't like this grip, so I might just use the heat gun to take the grip off the driver that I don't use, so that my set is matching, and I'm gonna do that. So this is going to take a little bit longer than I wanted, but at least I'll have a matching set because I don't give a shit about this driver, and I can put that on there if I want. So now I just have to get this grip off and hope it can go on the sand wedge. Here we go.
This was way more challenging than I thought it would be. Way harder than scooching the grip up on the driver. This was a nightmare. But I wanted a matching set, so. And the company that I bought the grips from don't sell individual grips, so I had no choice, really.
Oh, not quite budging. Nope. Alright. Has to get way hotter.
This is not for the impatient. You have to get it pretty hot.
Please work, please work, please work. Oh, I don't Bro, that's not even fucking budging at all. Oh, here we go. Just check this. It budged a little bit. Do I try pushing it? Oh, jeez. Come on, dude. Okay. Moved about an inch. Run out of time. Alright, I'm gonna keep going on this and try to get it off. Okay, so I was able to get this off. That doesn't mean I'm gonna be able to get it on my sand wedge because it's full of glue and tape residue. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. Nice. Easy. Okay. That's done. Now, putter. This is the only one that I really want to be careful with, because those grips for the irons and stuff, they're basically round. They do have an alignment thing right here, but it doesn't really matter if it's off. This one does matter. So I want this to be like perfect. Unfortunately, there's nothing on the shaft to indicate where it's supposed to go. So if it's crooked, then I'm gonna be fucking hitting crooked. So maybe what I should do is mark it. We're just gonna have to call that good. Yeah.
The grip for the putter, it was like $12. I wanted a big, fat, comfy, cushy one. Which is funny because the putter itself, I only paid like $18 for, I don't know, 8 years ago. But I like it. It's, I don't know. It makes a ding when I hit it. It's kind of fun. I probably will upgrade it eventually, but I'm in no hurry. I'm missing putts because I suck, not because of the putter that I'm using. And I've seen professional, or at least, amateur golfers putt with things like children's putters, wedges, all sorts of stuff, and make it. So it really isn't the equipment, it's the skill. So just need to get good. But I do think this new grip feels better than the old one. And at the very least, it's a little bit of a placebo.
That's gotta be good enough, baby. Okay. It's on there. That one's not coming off. You know what? I'm just gonna leave it. I don't want it to drip down and get it all gross. Boom, done. This thing didn't need it. Sweet. All right. Now it's time to actually use them. Oh, hell yeah.
All right, so I hope you found that educational, if not entertaining. It's always good to maintain your golf clubs, just like any tool. It's going to benefit you in the long run. But I will be back to golfing in the next video, and here's a little clip of the next course. I believe it's Willow Springs in West Friendship, Maryland. Take a look. Good stuff. Now is the time where I ask you to like and subscribe if you haven't already, and feel free to leave a comment. I will try to respond to everyone as I get the chance. That's all for now. Take care. Bye.